The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Such as Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Haney.
7:30 in the morning beside the Wayne Street Park. Good evening and welcome to SUTV Evening News. I'm Brooke Reese. We begin tonight's broadcast with a new program that the city and the university are partnering together to help improve student businesses and make them try to stay in the city of Salisbury after they graduate.
Last week, the mayor of Salisbury and the president of SU joined together on the Purdue lawn to announce a new program that aims to keep students' businesses in the city.
Buy Home Build a Business program does that by first offering an investment in the either down payment or closing cost that the student or recent graduate incurs when they buy a house in the city of Salisbury. So that $5,000 that matches another $5,000 that the state has available creates $10,000 that they can apply toward down payment or closing costs, which is pretty significant. And then the build a business side of the equation, we're partnering with great organizations locally like Maryland Capital Enterprises and Maryland Small Business Development Center, and looking in the eye of the student and saying, or recent graduate entrepreneur, and saying, we have assistance to offer you. So we'll offer time with our attorney, we'll offer time with our business development officer, and we'll even offer time with the mayor for whatever that's worth. And we'll connect those entrepreneurs to the resources that will help them be set up for success.
And one Salisbury University student has already taken some steps to making his business dreams come true.
So I would like to start a bakery downtown, something that I've kind of been looking at doing for the past year now. The idea comes from my family and I. We make bread as a cottage industry and we sell it at the farmers market downtown, Short Fresh Growers Farmers Market, and it's taken off pretty well. It's been a pretty big hit, so we're looking to possibly do it on a, I guess you would say, an actual business level instead of cottage industry.
Bringing it all together, students will be able to say, hey, well, there's an opportunity for me to not only live in Salisbury, but launch a business. The community is helping me launch that, so what do I have to lose? So I think it takes away a lot of what I'll call the barriers to entry. It will give the students some confidence, it will give them some encouragement, knowing that not only the university is supporting them, but as well as the larger community.
And for SUTV Evening News, I'm Brooke Reese reporting.
And the Purdue School's entrepreneurship competition will be held this year on April 21st. All submissions are being accepted right now on their website. And tailgating has had its ups and downs this year, but the administration is looking to level out the playing field. Dr. Dane Faust sat down with student leaders recently to hash out the details of how the university can help improve for the future.
Is that after the tailgate was over, we didn't see people go to the game. So we had a few hundred people that went to the tailgate, but then when we sort of counted heads of who went to the game, it was less than 2 dozen. And the students that participated in the tailgate headed across the street and continued the tailgate on a private property, an apartment complex property. So that was problematic to us. The other concern for us was, at least for that game, we didn't see many alumni, we didn't see many community members. It was 98% students. So the issue of trying to attract the campus and the community, while it resonated well with the students, it didn't resonate well, at least for the women's lacrosse game, that women's lacrosse game, on the broader scale. And again, similarly, when it came to attendance at the game, certainly the attendance at the tailgate did not reflect on the attendance at the game.
And the administration aren't the only ones affected by the students' lack of participation at the tailgates this semester. I sat down with some key players within athletics, within the athletics department, to see how tailgates have affected their games.
I would encourage them to come and support our athletic programs, to come out to games, to be good fans, to be positive and support our program and our student athletes, because they put in a lot of time and effort in terms of training. They're doing the best they can out there, and we all want that home field advantage. And to get that home field advantage, it really increases when we have stands that are full. People are at the game, yelling and screaming and supporting our teams, so that, you know, our student athletes, they thrive off of that energy, to be perfectly honest with you. And they talk about that. Did you see that crowd last night? Did you see how involved they were, how behind us they were?
Hopefully the goal there is to, if you're going to go to the tailgate, you're going to come to the game as well. And I think that for the men's lacrosse, I think that would happen in a situation. And unfortunately for, you know, girls lacrosse and field hockey in the fall, that the games weren't well attended after the tailgate, which is a disappointment. But I think that the school is going to find ways to get that attendance up after those type of events. We normally have a big crowd of students. You know, a lot of our friends come to the games. We're always, you know, they're always there for us. They're always cheering us on, no matter what happens. And luckily, we've had, you know, 5 perfect games so far. So we're looking forward to, you know, having them back every other game.
And the next tailgate is currently scheduled for April 15th, where the women's lacrosse team will play the College of New Jersey. And to find out more about athletic events, we have Drew Williams joining us here in the studio. So Drew, how's everyone looking this week?
Well, thanks, Brooke. So far, the season is really starting to shape up. It's well underway, and the Seagulls and conference play is starting to pick up here in the CAC. After picking up their first 2 conference wins against St. Mary's baseball, Seagull baseball is back on track after being no-hit earlier last week against Newman. The Seagulls geared up for their 3rd conference game against Marymount Monday, hoping to rattle off 3 straight wins and stay atop the CAC leaderboard. Picking things up here in the top of the first, Marymount jumped out to a quick 3-0 lead, and thanks to 2 key singles, including this 2 RBI knock by senior catcher Roy Coates, the Saints added another run in the 4th, increasing their lead by 2. But a big 2-out double by Seagull first baseman Jack Berry got the Seagulls on the board, cutting the lead to just 2. Tom Labriola running hard to the plate. He'll reach easily. Bases loaded spot for the Seagulls in the 4th. Pete Grasso doubles down the 3rd baseline, clears the bases. Meekins flies all the way around the bases from first, and Salisbury will get their first lead of the game. Seagulls will go on to pick up 5 runs in the inning, putting them up 7-4. Berry added to a 6 RBI game with another double in similar territory as the first, bringing in Meekins and Grasso to score as well. Runs piling up for Salisbury in this one. Michael Wells led the Seagulls on the mound with a beautiful breaking ball, striking out 9 Saints in his 8 innings of work. Seagulls roll 15-6 in this one, moving them to 10-5 on the year. Up next for the Seagulls is another CAC showdown with Wesley College on Friday. Switching over to softball, Seagulls off to a tough start so far this season, but they're able to get back to the 500 mark after going 3-1 in the Salisbury Invitational. Looming was a big doubleheader showdown with Lynchburg. Hornets jumped ahead early in this game with 3 runs in the first. Beautiful base hit single by Brittany Coffey scored 2 for the Hornets. Annie Piatanza got the offense going for the Seagulls with this RBI double to straightaway center. Leanne Collins would later score on the run. Kayla Hugate added another big run for Lynchburg, hitting this one just outside the reach of Yanarella at first. Seagulls dropped game 1 7-3, but really trying to rally up for game 2. Lynchburg jumped out to another early 3-1 lead. Sarah Commons knocks in 2 for the Hornets on the single down the left field line. But Salisbury answers with 2 of their own on this 2-run blast to center by Piatanza, closing the gap on Lynchburg. Seagulls pick up another run in the 5th, down by 2, runner on first. Piatanza at the plate, but grounds out to 3rd to end the game. Hornets win 6-4 on game 2 and sweep. The Salisbury Seagulls drop to 8-10 on the season. Softball will see their next games a couple weeks from now at Mary Washington, March 25th. On the weekend, men's and women's lacrosse both are in action here at Seagull Stadium. They'll take on Mary Washington as well in some big CAC matchups. Brooke?
Thanks, Drew. And a Salisbury University student is behind bars tonight after being arrested by Salisbury City Police on 10 charges. According to WBOC, Sunday Arrow was arrested for not only assaulting a woman, but her 3-year-old grandchild after breaking into the woman's home and stealing her things. Coordinator of Student Life, Sarah Lowry, said that the university does not wish to comment on the arrest at this time. And another startling incident affected 3 SU students after they woke up to the rude awakening early Sunday morning when a black Mercedes-Benz crashed into the side of the house on the 800 block of Hanover Street. David Parks, Paul Dykstra, and SUTV's own Miranda Haney was sitting in their living room when a 39-year-old woman collided with the home at approximately 3 a.m. There are no injuries, and the woman was arrested with the charges of driving under the alcoholic influence. And before spring break, SOAP announced the upcoming artists for Gulf Fest, minus their main performer. I sat down with their concert chair to discuss what's in store for students this year.
We've got a couple of twists in there for Gulf Fest this year. A couple of things to make it a little bit more interesting, not only like on the music side, but also, we plan to have the food trucks this year, like actual food trucks, actual vendors who are going to be coming and selling things and doing cool things, maybe having like face paint or glitter tattoos and just cool stuff to kind of make it more of a festival experience. Rather than just the concert. So it'll be so much more this year.
And Liana also told me that Logic was originally scheduled to be the main act, but the contract falling through, they're still looking for their opening, or for their main act, I guess. The Gulf Fest is scheduled this year for May 6th on the intramural fields, where students can see opening acts Nikki Heaton and Ripe. We'll have more updates for you when the entire lineup is completed after break. And 4 SU seniors are semi-finalists for the Fulbright Awards, the most students the university has ever had at one time. The highly distinguished program offers students research, study, and teaching opportunities for over 450 countries over the world. Brittany Bursa applied in October to teach English in Spain and is anxiously awaiting her decision.
Applied specifically to teach in Spain, so it's an English teaching assistantship, and I would be in charge of a secondary or middle school classroom, and I would have the munchkins to myself teaching them English, conversation labs, and I'd be placed somewhere in either Madrid or the North Coast. So I want to look to teach abroad for a year. If I don't get Fulbright, I'm also applying for Chile to teach there for a year. And then I want to pursue a master's and PhD possibly in international and comparative education, and then possibly try to work somewhere in the government field or as a director of an international education program at a college. So I came into Salisbury one thing, studied abroad in New Zealand, which really gave me direction to apply for the Fulbright, and now completely changed my career path. But it's what college does for you sometimes.
And we certainly wish Brittany good luck on her journey. And one of the 4 students, Hannah Enerfeld, was granted her Fulbright Friday to study neuroscience at Uppsala University in Sweden. And that's all we have for you here this week. We hope everyone has a safe and relaxing spring break. Stay tuned with us here in 2 weeks for more news. And for all of us here at SUTV, I'm Brooke Reese.
And I'm Drew Williams.
Have a great night.
Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Haney.